Today, I'm breaking down the 8 UK bread brands you should stop buying immediately and why. What they're adding, how it affects your body, and what you should be choosing instead. By the end of this, you'll never look at a supermarket loaf the same way again. Number 8. Warburtons. A staple in nearly every British home, and that's the problem. Warburtons white loaves contain E472E, an emulsifier that studies suggest can disrupt your gut's natural bacteria. Your gut isn't just about digestion. It influences your hormones, your immune system, your weight regulation, and even your mental health. When an emulsifier messes with your microbiome, the consequences go way beyond a bit of bloating. Warburtons also uses flour treatment agents like L-cysteine. It sounds scientific because they do not want you to know what it actually is, a dough conditioner derived from duck feathers or human hair. And yes, that's legal here. The industrial process they use, the Chorleywood bread method, forces dough to rise unnaturally fast with chemical accelerators, high-pressure mixers, and excessive yeast. Real bread takes time. Chorleywood bread takes about 3 hours from dough to packet, and that's why so many people feel heavy, swollen, or sluggish after eating it. Your body wasn't designed for chemical shortcuts. Number 7. Hovis. The branding screams tradition. Little boys cycling up cobbled hills, British heritage, nostalgia. But the ingredients? Far from wholesome. Their basic white loaf uses artificial caramel coloring that can produce compounds linked to cancer risk in animal studies. That's not the kind of golden brown you expect from a bread crust. Palm oil shows up in multiple Hovis products. Not cold-pressed, not nutrient-rich, but processed palm oil, stripped of benefits and used simply because it's cheap. They also rely on soya flour, often genetically modified unless specifically labeled otherwise. Many shoppers assume wholemeal means untouched whole grain goodness. But Hovis mills the wheat, removes the nutritious parts, then mixes some back in later. It's wholemeal in name only, and the nutritional value suffers because of it. Number 6. Kingsmill. If you've ever felt hungry an hour after eating toast, this is why. Kingsmill's white loaves have GI levels around 75, meaning sugar hits your bloodstream faster than with some sweets. The crash that follows leaves you tired, irritable, and craving more sugar or caffeine. Exactly the kind of cycle food manufacturers love because it pushes you to consume more. Kingsmill's 50/50 bread contains high fructose glucose syrup. This sweetener is associated with fatty liver disease, weight gain, and increased appetite. Their wholemeal line still lists sugar as a top ingredient, and their use of refined rapeseed oil, often exposed to high heat and chemical processing, can create small amounts of trans fats that contribute to heart disease. Owned by Associated British Foods, Kingsmill operates with the same cost-cutting mentality seen across their brands. The flavor isn't natural fermentation, it's additives, enhancers, and sugars engineered to get you hooked. Number 5. Sainsbury's own brand. Supermarket budget bread is cheap for a reason. Sainsbury's basic loaves contain calcium propionate, a preservative that some studies have linked to behavioral problems in children. Irritability, restlessness, focus issues. Parents often blame sugar, but preservatives like this can be even more disruptive. The flour is incredibly low quality, bleached, stripped, and nutritionally empty until synthetic vitamins are added back in. These synthetic nutrients are less bioavailable, meaning your body can't use them the same way it uses nutrients found in whole foods. Bleaching flour also creates chemical byproducts like alloxan, a compound used in lab settings to induce diabetes in test animals. Not exactly the wholesome breakfast you imagine, Sainsbury's also uses mono and diglycerides, emulsifiers which can come from animal fat sources. But you won't find that on the label, because manufacturers are not required to specify the origin. Number 4. Asda Smart Price. If you've ever seen bread selling for pennies, this is the dark side of that price tag. Asda's cheapest bread uses the lowest possible grade wheat, often rejected wheat processed to the limits of legality. That flour is bleached with chlorine or benzoyl peroxide to mimic the appearance of purity. But the biggest offender here is azotocarbonamide, a dough conditioner also used to make yoga mats and synthetic foams. When it breaks down during baking, it forms residues linked to cancer risk. Tiny amounts, yes, but repeated consumption, day after day, year after year. That's the concern. Smart Price bread is also almost devoid of fiber, less than 1 gram per slice. Eat this regularly and your gut slows down, waste moves sluggishly, and you end up tired, inflamed, and feeling far from healthy. Number 3, Tesco value. Tesco follows a similar formula. Modified wheat starch gives bread a soft, sponge-like texture that lasts unnaturally long. But modified starches can be harder to digest, triggering bloating or cramps. Their vague vegetable oil ingredient can include heavily refined soybean, rapeseed, or palm oils, all high in inflammatory omega-6 fats that promote chronic internal inflammation. Over time, inflammation is linked to arthritis, heart disease, metabolic problems, and even certain cancers. And Tesco, the biggest supermarket in the UK, could choose better ingredients. They choose not to. Number 2, Lidl Baker's Life. Lidl's bakery smells incredible because it's designed to. Their bread is not freshly made. It's part baked in factories across Europe, frozen, shipped, and finished in store. That means preservatives, stabilizers, and additives to survive the long journey. Lidl has had multiple recalls for plastic and metal fragments found in loaves. That is a sign of large-scale mechanical production with limited manual oversight. Their breads often contain added sugars and high salt levels, which can strain your heart and kidneys without you even realizing it. And because frozen dough breaks down during storage, Lidl adds more gluten, gums, and conditioners to hold the structure together. It feels soft in your hand, but your stomach feels the difference. Number 1, Aldi Village Bakery. Aldi revolutionized affordability, but their bread is where the cost-cutting becomes dangerous. Some of their specialty loaves have been found containing potassium bromate, banned in much of the world because it's considered a possible carcinogen. Small amounts may remain even after baking. Their standard loaves are extremely high in salt. Just a few slices can push you close to half your recommended daily limit. High salt intake is linked to hypertension, water retention, and increased stroke risk. Aldi's bread is produced in enormous centralized factories that prioritize volume over quality. Wheat from multiple countries is blended, flour is heavily processed, and dough is mixed at high speed, stripping away natural texture. Even their healthy seeded loaves are mostly white refined flour hidden under a sprinkle of seeds. So what should you eat instead? Choose bread with fewer than 7 ingredients, real sourdough made with flour, water, and salt, rye bread, sprouted grain bread, or organic loaves like Biona, Burtonnet, or artisan grains. Yes, they cost more, but you're paying for real food, not industrial shortcuts, or make your own. A no-knead loaf costs under 50 pence and takes 5 minutes to prepare. No chemicals, no preservatives, just bread. The goal isn't to stop eating bread. The goal is to stop eating bread engineered for the benefit of corporations rather than your body. Are you eating any of these brands right now? Have you noticed bloating, cravings, or tiredness after bread-heavy meals? Let me know in the comments. Your experience might help someone else avoid the same trap.